Hi everyone. Today we're going to start lesson 2.1. We're going to be talking about negative numbers. Now, yesterday when we watched the Cyber Chase Kids video, we started our introduction to negative numbers, and we learned that negative numbers are the numbers that are below zero, that our number line keeps going, and those numbers below zero are considered negative. So today we're going to start by talking a little bit about the uses of negative numbers in the real world. In general, numbers above zero are considered positive numbers, and numbers below zero are considered negative numbers. We can use positive and negative numbers in many places. We can use it to show gains or losses in games, like in a football game, right? If there's a penalty, the ball gets moved back. There's a loss of yardage. If the penalty is on the other team, you get to move the ball forward, or a gain of 5 or 10 yards. In banking, when you put money in the bank, it's considered a credit. And when you take money out or you withdraw money, that's considered a debit. A credit is a positive in your account. A debit is a negative in your account. Another place that we see the use of negative numbers a lot is when we're talking about sea level, how far a place on the map is in relationship to sea level. Sea level, you can be above or below. You can also talk about temperature with negative and positive numbers. The hotter it is, the higher the number is. The colder it is, the lower the number it is. It can even drop below zero and be negative degrees out. So let's look at a couple examples. You decide if it's positive or negative. The first statement says 50 degrees Fahrenheit, below zero. 50 degrees below zero. Is that a positive or negative? You're right. That's a negative number. A gain of 20 yards. Yep, that's positive. A plus 20. A gain is considered positive, moving forward. A withdrawal of $15. You went to the bank, you took out $15 to go buy a new game. That's right. That's a negative effect on your account. It's a negative coming off of the balance in your account. 13,285 feet below sea level. Well, the key word there is below sea level. Sea level is considered zero, or the origin. So 13,285 feet below sea level would be negative, a negative 13,285 feet. A drop in temperature of 60 degrees Celsius. It started out at 80 degrees, it dropped 60, it's now at 20. That drop in temperature is recorded as a negative 60, minus 60. So here are a few more examples for you to try. Pause the video here and write your answers in your math notebook. Please make sure to label it with the date, guided practice, page 46, numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so you've completed your guided practice. Let's start talking about representing numbers on a number line. The number line for negative numbers is actually just an extension of the number line for positive numbers. Remember that positive numbers Remember that positive numbers on a horizontal number line, the numbers become more or greater as you move to the right, and less or least greater as you move to the left. The same holds true for negative numbers. As you move further away from zero to the left or down, although the number itself, the symbol, might be getting bigger, its value is decreasing. Take some time to think about the number line and work on guided practice page 48. Again, complete these in your math notebook. The first one asks you to complete the number line, and the second one asks you to draw a number line to represent each set of numbers. Well, it's important to know that for every positive number, there's a corresponding negative number. For the number 3, the corresponding negative number is -3. Since the numbers lie on opposite sides of 0, you say 3 is the opposite of -3 and vice versa. So every number on the number line has an opposite number. It's a number on the other side of 0 that looks just like it, but with a different sign. And it is the same distance from 0 as its opposite. So 3, its opposite would be -3. And both numbers are a distance from 0 of 3 spots or 3 jumps or 3 place values. Okay? So distance is always represented in positive numbers. So 3 and -3 are both the same distance from 0. And that would be 3, because again, we always label distance in positive numbers. Thinking about the fact that every number has an opposite, a number that looks just like it except for the sign on either side of 0, complete the guided practice on page 49 in your notebook. You're continuing down. Now you're just labeling it page 49 and doing numbers 13 through 18. Pause the video now. Ready for a riddle? Thinking about what we've been doing with opposite numbers, can you name 2 numbers that are each 2 units away from -7? And then give the opposite of these 2 numbers? Well, let's think about that. If I'm on a number line and here's 0, and let's say that -7 is down here, 2 units away from -7 towards 0 would be -5, right? -6 is here in the middle. 2 units. 2 units. But I can also go 2 units in the opposite direction. This would be -8, and this would be -9. Oops, let's figure that out. So my 2 numbers that are both 2 units away from -7 are -9 and -5. Now, can I give the opposite of those numbers? That's right. 9 is the opposite of -9, and 5 is the opposite of -5. So let's see. Let's get rid of this work here. Let's see if we can get rid of this. All right. So we can also use negative numbers in information in charts to make comparisons and write inequalities. Remember last week when we talked about inequalities and we were going to use the symbols greater than or less than, right? So we're going to use less than or greater than. Okay, so let's look at this chart here. Looking at the chart, what is the lowest recorded temperature in August? Well, the chart is the lowest recorded temperatures for Alaska for each month. So here's August, and the lowest recorded temperature for August is 8 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the lowest recorded temperature for the month of September? Well, that's right. It's -13. So if I wanted to use that information to write a statement of inequality and I knew August was 8 degrees and September was negative 13, to make it an inequality, I need to put a symbol there in the middle. And I'm going to say that 8 is greater than negative 13. Now, don't be tricked that 13 on its own is a bigger number than 8, because this is negative 13. And on my number line, here's 0. Negative 13's way out here, and 8's over here. Oops. And this is 0. And remember, the further to the left I go, the smaller the value of the number is. Try writing some statements of inequality on your own. Label your notebook, page 49, numbers 19 through 24, and you are going to be using greater than or less than for each of these numbers. If it's helpful, draw yourself a number line, put 0 in the middle. Remember, your negative numbers are to the left, your positive numbers are to the right. Pause the video here and complete 19 through 24. Well, you've done some great work today. I'd like you now to show what you have learned by completing the extra practice pages 14 through 16. You're going to do the odd problems plus even problem number 36 using Kami. The assignment is linked in our Google Classroom. Thanks again for working with me today. You've been fantastic.